This is last lecture class related to the properties of insulating materials. Today we will discuss the chemical and thermal properties of insulating materials. For optimizing production process and reliable operation of insulating materials, knowledge of chemical properties also essential during the design process and proper selection of insulating materials for a particular application. When an insulating material is exposed to the environment, that is, if it is designed for outdoor applications, in the normal span of operation of the insulator, it must not degrade and must not induce corrosion of adjacent metal parts. It also must not react with the various environmental substances such as water, gases, acids, alkalis, salt solution, etc. This picture showing the corrosion of the different parts of the overhead line insulator due to the chemical effect on the metal parts. There are several chemical properties like effect of ultraviolet ray, gamma ray, etc. you have to consider during design process of insulating materials. Thermal properties of insulating materials. These four thermal properties, thermal endurance, cold resistance, heat conduction and thermal expansion, we have to know during design or selection of dielectric material. Now, what is thermal endurance? The ability of insulating materials to withstand high temperature without failure is known as thermal endurance. Failure of insulating materials evident from a noticeable growth in tan delta or by a decrease in volume resistivity. Thermal endurance is expressed in temperature in degree centigrade at which these changes begin to appear. Now we want to discuss the thermal endurance with the help of liquid insulating materials. Here we will take the example of transformer oil, which is a liquid mineral oil used in the transformers that we see in our daily life. The quality of the liquid insulating material is characterized by flash point. Now, what is the flash point? The flash point of a liquid is defined as the temperature at which the mixture of its vapor with air ignites when a flame is brought into contact with it. The flash point of transformer oil as per Indian standard IS 335 is 140 degrees centigrade. The fire point is a still higher temperature at which the whole liquid catches fire from the pilot flame. And the fire point that should be at least 25 degree higher than the flash point, means fire point is approximately 165 degree centigrade. The maximum temperature at which a material is allowed to operate is determined from the careful study of thermal endurance of the dielectric with consideration for safety margin setup on the basis of operating conditions, requisite reliability, and service life of the insulation. Generally, insulating material operate satisfactorily within a temperature range. Upper limit of this temperature range is known as thermal endurance, and lower limit of this temperature range is known as cold endurance. Outdoor equipment must exhibit cold endurance to ensure normal operation of equipment at low temperatures. At low temperatures, the dielectric properties of insulating materials is generally improved. However, some of these materials being flexible and elastic under normal conditions, but they become brittle and stiff in hard frost and may ultimately break into pieces, which lowers the operating reliability of the insulating or insulation system. So, due to these reasons, that cold endurance is equally important when we considering an insulating material. Now, again, we want to explain these cold endurance properties with the help of liquid dielectrics. Generally, in case of liquid dielectrics, that cold endurance is characterized by pour point. Now, what is pour point? The pour point of a liquid insulating material is that temperature for a given pressure at which the liquid just starts to flow. Means that liquids maintain its mobility up to this point or up to this temperature. So as per Indian standard IS 335, the pour point of the transformer oil is -6 degree. Thermal conduction is an important thermal properties of insulating material. This property of insulating material is quantitatively assessed by the thermal conductivity. It is important in the sense that thermal energy released due to the power loss in the electrical apparatus passes into the atmosphere through these insulating materials owing to their ability to conduct heat. Thus, the temperature rise of the electrical apparatus in turn depends on the thermal conductivity of insulating materials. If an insulating material thermal conductivity is low, means temperature rise within the apparatus or machines is more. If the thermal conductivity is high, temperature rise or the temperature dissipation capability of this insulating material is good. So thermal conduction also affects the dielectric strength during the buildup of thermal breakdown. Now thermal expansion. Thermal expansion, as in the case of other material, thermal expansion of the insulating materials is estimated by the temperature coefficient of linear expansion, and it is represented or it is measured in terms of Kelvin inverse. Materials with a low value of TCL so as a rule that highest thermal endurance and vice versa. Generally, organic dielectrics have markedly higher values of TCL as compared to the inorganic dielectrics. So that is why that inorganic materials offer an increased stability of their dimensions during temperature fluctuations. As recommended by International Electrotechnical Commission, the insulating materials used in electrical equipment are classified according to their thermal endurance. Now, maybe some of you have a question in your mind. What is IEC? IEC is the world's leading organization that prepares and publishes international standards for all electrical, electronic and related technologies. Now, why the knowledge of thermal classification is necessary for the selection of insulator? This is because each insulation class is assigned a certain temperature limit. If we operate the insulation below this temperature, it can be used for long time by maintaining its normal insulation properties. Now this is the table of thermal classification of insulating materials. Total number of insulation class is 7. First one is class Y and the corresponding temperature or thermal endurance is 90 degrees centigrade. Generally untreated cotton, silk, paper, etc. comes under this class. Class A insulation, maximum temperature withstand capability 105 degrees centigrade. Similar material can be used for class A but at treated condition, that is cotton, treated silk, treated paper, etc. Class E, most of the synthetic resin such as phenyl formaldehyde resin comes under this category and maximum temperature withstand capability is 120 degrees centigrade. For class B, most of the material, inorganic materials like mica, asbestos, fiberglass, etc. comes under this category and thermal endurance of this class is 130 degrees centigrade. Class F insulation, temperature withstand capability of class F insulation is 155 degrees centigrade. Inorganic material like impregnated or bound with epoxide, polyurethane, etc. comes under this category. Class H insulating material, if you see class H and class B, in both the cases you will find out mica, asbestos, fiberglass as an insulating material, but the category is different. Difference is that in case of class H insulating materials, silicon binder or impregnating varnish is used. That is why that class H insulating material used at elevated temperature as high as 180 degrees centigrade. And class C, this is the last class, or you can say this is the maximum thermal endurance of a particular insulating material comes under this category, and that temperature withstand capability is more than 180 degree centigrade. Untreated inorganic material like mica or micanite with inorganic binder, micax, glass and ceramic, this comes under this category. As a general comment of this thermal classification, class Y, A and E, these classes of insulation embrace mainly organic insulating materials. Class B, F, H and C, that include both organic and inorganic materials either as main ingredient or as a binder. Operation of insulating materials at such temperatures ensures a desirable life of electrical equipment from technical and economic considerations. If electrical equipment is designed for a short service life, it is permissible to raise somewhat the operating temperatures of the insulating materials over the values given in the table. Now, insulating material class is not a constant. Similar material can be used for different class with some modification. Just for example, unimpregnated paper that comes under the class Y insulation and maximum temperature withstand capability is 90 degrees centigrade. Whereas similar insulating material, that is paper, impregnated condition, it transferred to class A insulation from class Y to class A, and maximum temperature withstand capability also increases from 90 degrees centigrade to 105 degrees centigrade. Now we want to show you how the insulation resistance varies with temperature. Before going to the details observation of insulation resistance with temperature, first we want to show you how the insulation resistance varies with the length of the insulation. For this purpose, we will take the example of high voltage cable, and this is the cross section of the high voltage cable. This is live conductor, and surrounding the live conductor insulations are present, insulating materials present. Now if we represent that insulation as lengthwise of the cable, then it can be represented as a several resistance connected in parallel, and each resistance is called the resistance per unit length of the high voltage cable. Now if we consider certain portion of length of the high voltage cable, now if you see in this portion, total resistance connected in parallel is 4. Now instead of this length, if someone consider that much of length, so for that case, if you count that number of resistance connected in parallel is equals to 8. So if you gradually increase the length, so number of resistance connected in parallel increases. If number of resistance connected in parallel increases, means net effective resistance is decreases. So from that we can conclude that insulation resistance of the high voltage cable or any insulating materials is inversely proportional to the length of the cable or length of the insulating material. So that concept is essential when we want to solve some numerical problem based on this. The variation of insulation resistance, IR is basically represents insulation resistance with temperature. Generally, the insulation resistance of a dielectric is normally governed by the volume resistivity of the material. The variation of insulation resistance with temperature can be expressed by this formula: R suffix T2 is equals to R suffix T1 by A to the power T2 minus T1. What is RT2? RT2 is the insulation resistance at temperature T2. RT1 is the insulation resistance at temperature T1, and A, which is known as constant, that is intrinsic property of the dielectric. Now, based on these expressions, we want to show you some solution of the numerical problem. The statement of this numerical problem is: the insulation resistance of 100-meter length of the cable is 350 mega ohm at 25 degree centigrade. Dielectric is such that increase of 10 degree centigrade is required for reducing its insulation resistance to half the value at 25 degree centigrade. You have to find the insulation resistance of 50 meter of the cables at 45 degree centigrade. Now, like every problem, first you have to write what are the parameters given in this statement. First one is that length of the cable is 100 meter. At temperature T1, we consider that T1 is the 25 degree centigrade, and corresponding resistance is 350 mega ohm. T2 35 degree centigrade, and RT2, that is half the value at 25 degree centigrade, that is 175 mega ohm. Now, by using the formula RT2 is equals to RT1 by A to the power T2 minus T1, we have to find out what is the constant. So this is the equations we have to follow. RT2, so RT2 is 175, RT1 350 divided by A T2 minus T1. T2 is 35, T1 is 25. Now, using this, we have to calculate A, and that A to the power 10, we get that value is equals to 2. Now, what is our target? Our target is to find out the insulation resistance at 45 degree centigrade, but corresponding length is 50 meter. Okay. Now, by using these informations, we want to predict the value at temperature 45. So that equations is R45 is equals to R35 by A45 minus A35. So R35 is 175. Already we get that A to the power 10 is equals to 2. So if you replace that A to the power 10 2, so this is R45 is equals to 87.5 mega ohm, but mind that this 87.5 mega ohm corresponding to 100 meter length of the cable. But in this problem, they wanted to know what is the insulation resistance at 45 degree centigrade corresponding to the 50 meter length of the cable, means length is half. And already we have a information that insulation resistance is inversely proportional to the length of the cable or length of the insulation. So by considering that cable insulation resistance of the cable is inversely proportional to length of the cable, now simply what is the resistance obtained at 45 degree centigrade corresponding to 100 meter length of the cable for 50 meter? If the length is half, then the insulation resistance is double. So for this temperature 45 degree centigrade, if we measure the resistance of 50 meter length of cable, that is equals to 175 mega ohm. Okay, this is a very simple problem. Now this is the second problem based on the variation of insulation resistance with temperature. You try to solve this problem by yourself. So this is the end of the properties of insulating materials. Means this is the last lecture class of insulating properties of materials. Thank you.